It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Continuously taking hits without acknowledging the damage isn't always admirable. Enduring pain endlessly can lead to burnout or lasting harm. Sometimes it's important to question why you're getting hit in the first place and if pushing forward is the best course of action. Take time to heal and assess your situation before moving forward. It's okay to step back and strategize a better approach. Strength isn't just about endurance. It's also about knowing when to pause and protect yourself. When you come to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. Holding on tightly when there's no progress can keep you stuck. Clinging to a fraying rope might prevent you from finding new paths or solutions. Sometimes, letting go is necessary for growth. Evaluate whether holding on is truly serving you. Consider exploring alternative options or seeking help. Letting go doesn't mean failure. It can be a step toward a new beginning. Never give up on something that you can't go a day without thinking about. Obsessing over something doesn't always mean it's good for you. Constant thoughts could be a sign of unhealthy attachment or anxiety rather than true passion. Not all persistent thoughts are worth pursuing indefinitely. Reflect on why this occupies your mind so much. Is it bringing you joy or causing distress? Sometimes, taking a break can provide clarity and help you decide if it's truly worth your continued effort. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. Placing something above your fears can lead to neglecting legitimate concerns. Overriding fear without addressing it might result in unnecessary risks or harm. Fear can be a protective mechanism, not just an obstacle. Acknowledge your fears and understand their origins. Use them to inform your decisions rather than simply pushing them aside. Courage can coexist with caution, leading to wiser choices. The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack in will. Attributing success solely to willpower overlooks external factors and privileges. Not everyone has the same opportunities or support systems to exercise their will effectively. This view can unfairly blame individuals for systemic issues. Recognize the various factors that contribute to success. Cultivate willpower, but also seek resources, support, and knowledge. Be compassionate with yourself if sheer determination isn't enough. It's okay to ask for help. What lies behind us and what lies before us are small matters compared to what lies within us. While inner strength is important, dismissing our past and future can be short-sighted. Experiences and aspirations shape who we are. Ignoring them might lead to repeating mistakes or lacking direction. Integrate your past lessons and future goals with your inner values. Reflect on how your experiences influence you and how your aspirations motivate you. A balanced perspective can lead to more meaningful growth. The moment you want to quit is the moment you need to keep pushing. Ignoring the urge to quit can sometimes lead to burnout. Pushing past your limits without rest isn't always noble. It can be harmful. Recognizing when to pause is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. Listen to your mind and body. If you're feeling overwhelmed, take a break to recharge. Resting can provide new insights and energy to continue more effectively later on. Never give up, for that is just the place and time that the tide will turn. Waiting endlessly for things to change can keep you stuck in a stagnant situation. The tide doesn't always turn on its own. Sometimes, proactive changes are necessary to alter your circumstances. Evaluate your situation realistically. If progress isn't happening, consider adjusting your approach or setting new goals. Taking action can be more effective than waiting for a turning point. It always seems impossible until it's done. Some things might actually be impossible given current resources or circumstances. Pursuing them without a plan can lead to frustration. Recognizing limitations isn't defeatist. It's practical. Break down big goals into manageable steps. Assess what's achievable now and what might require more time or resources. Setting realistic expectations can make the impossible seem possible. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Constant enthusiasm in the face of repeated failure can mask underlying issues. Without reflection, you might repeat the same mistakes. Sometimes, a pause to reassess is more valuable than unwavering optimism. Allow yourself to feel disappointed, but use those feelings constructively. Analyze what went wrong and adjust your strategy. Balancing enthusiasm with critical thinking can lead to more sustainable success. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Always striving to rise after every fall can be overwhelming and unrealistic. Sometimes, the pressure to bounce back quickly ignores the need for rest and healing. Constantly pushing yourself might lead to burnout rather than true growth. Allow yourself the time to recover and understand the reasons behind the fall. Embrace the pause as a necessary step towards genuine progress. Healing fully can make your eventual rise more meaningful and sustainable. You just can't beat the person who never gives up. Never giving up can sometimes mean stubbornly pursuing a lost cause. Persistence without adaptability might lead to wasted effort and missed opportunities elsewhere. Not every battle is worth the fight. Evaluate when it's time to persist and when it's wiser to change direction. Being flexible and knowing when to let go can open doors to new possibilities. Success often comes from smart choices, not just sheer persistence. Perseverance is not a long race. It is many short races, one after the other. Viewing life as a series of endless races can be exhausting. Constantly pushing from one challenge to the next may prevent you from appreciating the present moment. Life shouldn't feel like an endless competition. Take time to rest between your endeavors. Celebrate small victories and allow yourself to enjoy the journey. Balancing effort with relaxation can lead to a more fulfilling life. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Continually pushing forward without acknowledging the impact of success or failure might lead to a lack of direction. Ignoring the significance of outcomes can make efforts feel meaningless over time. Reflect on both your successes and failures to gain valuable insights. Use these experiences to inform your next steps. Courage to continue is important, but so is learning from the past. Do not wait to strike till the iron is hot, but make it hot by striking. Acting hastily without the right conditions can lead to unnecessary mistakes. Forcing situations might not yield the best results and can cause more harm than good. Patience can be a virtue. Assess the situation before taking action. Sometimes preparation and timing are crucial for success. Balance initiative with strategic planning to achieve better outcomes. Failure is only the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Repeatedly starting over can be disheartening and may erode confidence. Constant focus on failure as an opportunity might minimize the emotional toll it takes. It's okay to feel disappointed before moving forward. Acknowledge your feelings about failure before jumping into the next attempt. Take time to process and learn genuinely. Approaching new beginnings with emotional readiness can enhance your intelligence and effectiveness. When you feel like quitting, think about why you started. Focusing solely on the initial motivation might not address current challenges. Reasons for starting can change, and clinging to them may prevent you from adapting to new realities. Reevaluate your goals and reasons for continuing. It's okay if your motivations have shifted. Align your actions with your current values and circumstances for a more authentic path forward. The road to success is dotted with many tempting parking spaces. Constantly resisting rest stops can lead to exhaustion. Viewing pauses as temptations rather than necessities might encourage unhealthy work habits. Rest is not a weakness, but a critical part of the journey. Allow yourself to take breaks and recharge. Short rests can enhance your productivity and well-being. Recognize that pauses are integral to long-term success, not obstacles to it. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. Idolizing relentless effort in hopeless situations can romanticize unnecessary struggle. Sometimes, recognizing when to redirect efforts is wiser than persisting blindly. Not all battles are meant to be won through sheer persistence. Assess the viability of your goals realistically. Seek feedback and be open to changing your approach. Redirecting your efforts can lead to success in areas where hope is tangible. Success seems to be largely a matter of hanging on after others have let go. Holding on longer than others isn't always a virtue. It might indicate an inability to let go of unproductive endeavors. Persistence without progress can waste valuable time and resources. Evaluate the effectiveness of your efforts regularly. Determine whether hanging on is leading you closer to your goals. Sometimes, letting go can make space for new opportunities that align better with your aspirations. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Viewing repeated unsuccessful attempts merely as discoveries of what doesn't work can downplay the emotional and practical toll of failure. Constantly dismissing failures might prevent us from learning important lessons or recognizing when to pivot. Ignoring the impact of setbacks can lead to wasted time and resources. Acknowledge and reflect on your failures genuinely. Instead of just brushing them off, analyze what went wrong and how it affects you. Use this insight to make informed decisions about your next steps, whether that's refining your approach or exploring new directions. If you're going through hell, keep going. Persisting through extreme hardship without pause can exacerbate stress and exhaustion. Sometimes, pushing forward relentlessly ignores the need for rest and support. Continuing without addressing underlying issues might lead to deeper problems. While it's important to move through difficult times, also consider seeking help and taking breaks when needed. Address the root causes of your struggles and prioritize self-care. Progress doesn't always mean forging ahead without respite. Fall 7 times, stand up 8. Continuously getting back up after repeated falls can be draining and may signal a pattern that needs attention. Without understanding why you're falling, you might be doomed to repeat the same mistakes. Resilience without reflection can be unproductive. Take time to analyze why you're stumbling. Learn from each fall to avoid similar pitfalls in the future. Building resilience is valuable, but combining it with self-awareness leads to more effective growth. The best way out is always through. Forcing yourself to go directly through a problem might not always be the most effective strategy. Sometimes, detours or alternative approaches can provide better solutions. Insisting on a direct path can cause unnecessary strain. Evaluate different ways to address your challenges. Consider whether a new perspective or strategy might be more effective than confronting the issue head-on. Flexibility can lead to more efficient and less stressful outcomes. Difficulties in life are intended to make us better, not bitter. Assuming that all difficulties are meant to improve us can invalidate genuine feelings of frustration or sadness. This mindset might pressure individuals to suppress negative emotions, leading to unresolved issues. Allow yourself to experience and process all emotions, including bitterness. Use difficulties as opportunities for self-understanding rather than forcing a positive outlook. Authentic emotional processing can lead to genuine growth. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. Focusing solely on personal transformation can overlook the tangible benefits and needs met by achieving goals. Dismissing the importance of outcomes might lead to undervaluing your achievements and their impact on your life. Balance the significance of personal growth with the practical advantages of reaching your goals. Acknowledge both the internal and external rewards. Recognizing all aspects of your accomplishments can enhance satisfaction and motivation. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Persisting indefinitely without progress can be discouraging. Sometimes, moving too slowly might indicate that methods need reevaluation. Ignoring the importance of efficiency can lead to prolonged stagnation. Monitor your progress and adjust your pace when necessary. It's okay to pause and find ways to improve your efficiency. Balancing persistence with productivity can lead to more meaningful achievements. Every strike brings me closer to the next home run. Viewing failures only as steps toward success might minimize the need to improve skills or strategies. Assuming that success is inevitable with enough attempts can lead to complacency. Use each setback as an opportunity to refine your approach. Actively work on enhancing your abilities rather than relying on eventual success. Intentional improvement increases the likelihood of achieving your goals. Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. While one defeat isn't the end, repeatedly minimizing losses can prevent you from recognizing patterns that need change. Overlooking the significance of defeats might hinder learning and growth. Treat defeats as valuable feedback. Reflect on them to understand what adjustments are needed. Acknowledging and learning from each setback strengthens your resilience and strategy. Obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it. Constantly trying to overcome every obstacle can be exhausting and inefficient. Sometimes, persisting against insurmountable barriers wastes time and energy that could be invested elsewhere. Assess whether an obstacle is worth overcoming or if redirecting your efforts is more beneficial. Prioritize challenges that align with your goals and well-being. Strategic decision-making can lead to more effective progress. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Continuously urging ourselves to try just one more time can lead to a cycle of exhaustion. Sometimes, persisting without reassessing our approach might result in repeating the same mistakes. It's important to recognize when to pause and evaluate whether continuing is truly beneficial. Before attempting again, take a step back to reflect on your strategies and outcomes. Consider seeking feedback or exploring new methods. Sometimes, success comes not just from persistence, but from making informed adjustments. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Assuming that every difficulty harbors an opportunity can create undue pressure to find silver linings in all situations. This mindset might lead to overlooking the genuine challenges that need addressing. Not all difficulties are gateways to opportunity. Some are simply hardships we must navigate. Acknowledge the difficulties you face without forcing optimism. Allow yourself to experience challenges authentically. When ready, you can explore potential opportunities, but it's okay if some situations are just tough without an immediate upside. Things work out best for those who make the best of how things work out. This suggests that outcomes are solely dependent on our attitude, which can dismiss external factors beyond our control. It may place undue responsibility on individuals to remain positive, even in unfavorable circumstances. While a positive outlook can be beneficial, it's also important to recognize and accept situations that are out of your hands. Give yourself permission to feel disappointment or frustration. Balance optimism with realism to navigate life's complexities effectively. A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. Persistence without direction can erode not just obstacles, but also ourselves. Constantly pushing forward without considering the impact may lead to personal depletion. Persistence needs to be coupled with mindful intention to be truly effective. Align your persistence with clear goals and self-care. Regularly assess whether your efforts are leading you in a desired direction. Sustainable progress comes from persistent actions that are thoughtfully guided. I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions. Overemphasizing personal decisions while downplaying circumstances can ignore the significant impact of environmental factors. This viewpoint might inadvertently blame individuals for challenges beyond their control, disregarding systemic issues. Recognize the interplay between your choices and your environment. While you have agency, it's important to acknowledge external influences. Empower yourself by making informed decisions and advocating for changes in circumstances when possible. Keep on going, and the chances are you will stumble on something, perhaps when you are least expecting it. I never heard of anyone ever stumbling on something sitting down. Constant motion without purpose can lead to aimlessness. Believing that merely staying active will yield results might cause you to overlook the value of rest and strategic planning. Sometimes, sitting down to reflect can be more productive than incessant movement. Balance action with thoughtful rest. Take time to contemplate your direction and adjust your path accordingly. Purposeful action, combined with reflection, increases the likelihood of meaningful discoveries. Success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Maintaining unbroken enthusiasm despite repeated failures can be emotionally taxing. This attitude might suppress genuine feelings of disappointment or discourage necessary course corrections. Blind optimism can hinder growth. Allow yourself to feel and process setbacks. It's okay for enthusiasm to wane. Use those moments to reflect and adapt. Authentic engagement with your experiences can lead to deeper resilience and more effective strategies. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. While self-belief is important, over-reliance on it may underestimate the practical steps required to achieve goals. This notion might lead to complacency, assuming that belief alone suffices. There are no shortcuts through mere optimism. Combine self-confidence with actionable plans. Outline the steps needed to reach your goals and work on them diligently. Belief is a strong foundation, but building upon it requires effort and perseverance. Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going. Constantly keeping busy without mindful breaks can lead to burnout. The clock moves incessantly without rest, but humans need downtime to recharge. Emulating the relentless pace of time isn't sustainable for well-being. Manage your time wisely by incorporating periods of rest and reflection. Quality of work often improves with balanced pacing. Instead of just keeping going, aim for productive and mindful progress. Success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life, as by the obstacles which he has overcome. Focusing solely on the obstacles overcome might romanticize struggle and encourage a martyr mentality. It could lead to seeking challenges unnecessarily to validate success, overshadowing joy and contentment found in simpler achievements. Appreciate your accomplishments regardless of the level of struggle involved. Success can also be found in ease and happiness. Celebrate your journey in all its forms, valuing both the challenges faced and the peaceful moments enjoyed. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. While overcoming doubt is important, this quote overlooks real-world constraints like resources, opportunities, and systemic barriers. Doubts can sometimes be rational responses to genuine obstacles. Overemphasizing personal doubt may lead to self-blame when external factors play a significant role. Acknowledge both your internal doubts and external limitations. Use doubt as a tool to assess risks and prepare accordingly. Seek support where needed and focus on actionable steps that account for both personal and environmental factors. It does not matter how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get up. Constantly getting back up without addressing why you're being knocked down might lead to repeated failures. This approach can ignore underlying issues that need resolution. Resilience is valuable, but so is learning from setbacks to prevent recurrence. After each setback, take time to reflect on the causes. Develop strategies to avoid similar pitfalls in the future. Building resilience should go hand in hand with gaining wisdom from past experiences. The harder the conflict, the greater the triumph. Glorifying difficult conflicts can romanticize struggle and suggest that only through hardship can we achieve meaningful success. This mindset may encourage seeking out unnecessary difficulties or undervaluing simpler achievements. Appreciate accomplishments regardless of the level of difficulty involved. Focus on smart strategies to overcome challenges efficiently. Success doesn't always have to come from intense struggle. It's also about making wise choices. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. While inner strength is important, dismissing past experiences and future plans might lead to neglecting valuable lessons and goals. Our history and aspirations significantly shape who we are and who we become. Integrate your past experiences and future ambitions with your inner values. Reflect on how they influence your present actions. A holistic understanding of yourself can lead to more purposeful decisions. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. Repeating efforts without assessing their effectiveness can lead to stagnation. Consistency is key, but mindless repetition might not yield progress. It's important to ensure that daily efforts are aligned with meaningful goals. Regularly evaluate your daily actions to ensure they contribute to your objectives. Make adjustments as needed to optimize your efforts. Intentional and mindful practices enhance the likelihood of success. You have to fight through some bad days to earn the best days of your life. Enduring hardship isn't the only path to experiencing great days. This belief might minimize the importance of seeking joy and contentment in the present. It can also lead to unnecessary self-sacrifice in the hope of future rewards. Strive to find balance and appreciate positive moments even during challenging times. Cultivate habits that promote well-being now rather than deferring happiness to the future. Your best days can coexist with difficulties when you nurture resilience and gratitude. The only real failure is the failure to try, and the measure of success is how we cope with disappointment. While trying is essential, this perspective may undervalue the importance of outcomes and learning from actual failures. It might also place undue emphasis on coping with disappointment rather than addressing its causes. Embrace both action and reflection. When facing disappointment, analyze what went wrong and how you can improve. Success involves not just trying, but also growing from each experience. You just can't beat the person who won't give up. Relentless persistence without adaptability can lead to repeated failures. Not giving up might prevent one from recognizing when a different approach is needed. Stubbornness isn't always a virtue if it hinders progress. Combine persistence with flexibility. Be willing to adjust your methods and consider new perspectives. Persistence is most effective when it's paired with strategic thinking. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. Focusing solely on getting back up may ignore the reasons behind the fall. Without understanding why you were knocked down, you might find yourself in a cycle of repeated setbacks. Recovery should involve learning and adaptation. After each fall, take time to assess and understand the factors involved. Use this insight to strengthen your approach moving forward. Rising again is important, but doing so wiser makes all the difference. Persistence and resilience only come from having been given the chance to work through difficult problems. Suggesting that resilience only develops through difficult problems might discourage those who haven't faced significant hardships. It may also romanticize struggle as the sole path to personal growth, overlooking other formative experiences. Recognize that resilience can be built in various ways, not just through adversity. Engage in activities that challenge you at comfortable levels. Personal growth is a continuous process that can be nurtured through both everyday experiences and overcoming difficulties.